Do you want some Fook Gin fried rice? Today I'm gonna make Cantonese Fook Gin fried rice. Or in English, Fujian fried rice. It's just like egg fried rice, and you put gravy on top. With like, you put a loaded gravy on top. And it's so good. Some Fook Gin fried rice. The first step is to cook the gravy. I'm putting shrimp in mine, but you can put whatever proteins you want. If you're using something like pork or chicken, you'll probably be grilling that instead of boiling it. But regardless, while you're cooking your protein, you can start cutting the vegetables that go into the gravy. Common vegetables that we use include onions, carrots, mushrooms, and Chinese broccoli stems. I don't have any Chinese broccoli stems at the moment, so I'm using peas, but you can use whatever you want. There's no rules. Dicing all these vegetables is such a Hokkien hassle. On the topic of that, the more kosher English name for this fried rice is Hokkien fried rice. So if you're worried about getting dirty looks, use that name instead. You can also use the Mandarin name Fujian fried rice, but we all know the best name. By now your protein should be done cooking, so just take that out and we can cut it into small bite-sized pieces later. If you boiled your protein, you can use that water as a base for your gravy. Otherwise, just use any type of broth you want. Chicken broth, vegetable broth, whatever. Add some soy sauce, dark soy sauce, some oyster sauce. I said some oyster sauce, and that's basically your base. I put some red pepper flakes just because I like everything spicy, but that's not traditional, so do whatever you want. Now you can cut your protein into small cubes. Just a tangent on cooking shrimp. When you're boiling shrimp, don't throw away the shells. You can use the shells as a base for your next soup, and it'll make whatever you're cooking that much better. You can do the same thing with any crustacean, so crab, lobster, whatever. Don't waste the shell. Finally, cut your aromatics. So I'm using green onion, ginger, and some jalapenos. The jalapenos, again, aren't traditional. I just wanted it to be spicy. Now just beat an egg for the fried rice, and you're basically done with all the prep work. Now to get to cooking. So this is just me cooking a basic egg fried rice. So I'll be using an egg fried rice as a base, but you can use whatever fried rice you want as a base, as long as it's not too flavorful. So like chicken fried rice, pork fried rice, whatever, all those are fine. Throw in the aromatics and toss into a fragrant, and then chuck in the leftover rice you had from yesterday. Don't worry, Uncle Roger, there's MSG in this fried rice. I just forgot to film myself. Tip, try to make it slightly more bland than you like, just because it'll be covered in sauce. But once you're done cooking the fried rice, you can set that aside and we can start cooking the gravy. There's really not that much stuff to say about this part. You kind of just throw everything into a wok and just cook it. Don't forget to add salt, of course, but you should probably wash your wok before cooking this part, but it's fine. Once everything's cooked 80, maybe 85%, you can toss in your liquid. I actually didn't have enough liquid, so I added a little bit more broth. But yeah, just play by eye. You'll know what to do. When you're just about done, you can throw in your protein, mix that around a few times, give it some time for all the flavors to meld. When the broth comes to a boil, you can add your thickening agent. So xanthan gum, cornstarch, roux, whatever you have. Traditionally, there are no jalapeno peppers, so you can ignore this step, but you can add it if you want. If you're using peas, put that in now. Let the flavors meld. Wait for the gravy to thicken. You want it thick but not too thick, so maybe aim for like 1 or 2 Z's. Don't go for 3 Z's. Some water will evaporate, so you don't want it to be too thick. And you're done with the gravy. Now for assembly. Here's me realizing that I'm an idiot and I could have just directly put it into the bowl instead of having the middle step of putting in the paper box and then putting in the bowl. But regardless, the complicated step. Watch closely. You get your rice and you put the gravy on top of the rice. And that's literally it. Easy peasy, right? You just made some Fook Gin fried rice. If you've never had Fook Gin fried rice, every time I say it, it's hilarious. If you've never had Fook Gin fried rice, if you've never had Fujian fried rice, like definitely I recommend giving it a try. Like it's just something different from like your regular like pork fried rice, egg fried rice, shrimp fried rice, whatever, right? It's basically that, but then they add like a really like a thick gravy on top, and it's super delicious. I love the sauce. It's like how it coats the fried rice. So this is a different version. So usually it's like pork or chicken. I put shrimp in it because it was on sale. Like this is one of my favorite fried rices. And like one level above this, what I really like is there's a yin yang fried rice, which instead of using like a soy sauce based gravy on top, it's 2 gravies, right? One gravy is like a milk based or cream based sauce, and the other gravy is like a sweet and sour sauce. And that is so good. It's just a method, right? You can find a recipe anywhere online. I just changed it, right? So like usually, oftentimes I see like I'll see instead of shrimp it'll be like pork or chicken. I don't see like red pepper flakes, or obviously you don't see gochugaru on it. You don't see jalapenos in it. It's usually just like really savory. There's no real spice in it, except for maybe some black pepper, if you count that as spicy. But yeah, and also like the mushrooms, instead of king oyster mushrooms, you're using shiitake mushrooms instead. But whatever you have on hand, right? It's just fried rice. Fried rice is like the leftover meal. It's like Chinese leftover meal, right? Like kind of like bibimbap in Korean, or yeah, just like throw everything in a pot, or throw everything in a pan, or throw everything in a wok, and just make whatever you have, right? Just use whatever you have on hand. It doesn't have to be like, you don't have to follow any recipe like to the T, right? Close enough. Fucking fried rice. Please let me know if you make it. It's really good, and like I feel like not enough people know about it. Have a good day.